What up, bitches? Ain't done this shit in a while. I've actually done a few, but I keep not liking the quality of the video, which I kind of feel the same way about this one. But I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyway. I'll show you it off the top. So no one comments about it later. My nose is all fucking fucked up. I got a toenail cyst in my sinuses, and it makes my whole fucking face itch and burn like crazy. And sometimes in my sleep, I'll start doing this because it itches. And fuck my nose all up. So yeah, forgive the fucked upness of my face, but if you've been bothered by the fucked upness of my face, you're probably not my friend anymore. A long time ago. So there's that. My friend got me a necklace yesterday at the jewelry sale. Not knowing I've been on this whole kick of save the bears from the crazy ladies. A little bear medicine. Yeah, I might as well weigh in on that. I have on Facebook and a couple other places already. You're lying. You wouldn't choose a bear over a man in the fucking woods, and it's bullshit, and it's nonsense, and if you want to have a real conversation about a real issue, let's not start with histrionics. It's just a stupid fucking premise. I don't buy it. Nobody buys it. Nobody believes you would rather run into a bear than a man. We all have fathers, brothers, friends. Most men are not abusive fucking psychopaths. 100% of bears are meat-eating apex predators. It's just stupid. It's histrionics is what it is. Fuck it. For future reference, I now identify as a quadrisexual bear. For fuck's sake. Got me a nice blunt going up. Gotta love them fatty fucking blunts. I sparked one of these up with my buddy the other day. He's like, that's fucking huge. I'm like, well, that's what she said. But she's 78, so he doesn't get that joke. But I make it anyway. Yeah, this is a $7 camera from Walmart, and it looks like it. I have another one now that I figured out where my camera issue was coming from. It wasn't coming from the camera. It was coming from the USB port. It doesn't work at all anymore. So I got a better camera. I just don't know what fucking drawer I stuffed it in. I'm getting ready to build my cabin, so I've kind of stopped doing housekeeping in here. Because really soon everything's just going to go in boxes and go in storage while I put the cabin up. Yeah, I slept through the Aurora Borealis, didn't get any good pictures. Been very jealous of all the awesome pictures all my neighbors got, but I didn't get any. I went down to the beach at about 10:30, but didn't see shit and came home. I guess they started kicking off shortly after that. Oh well. I've seen them plenty of times before. Still always a trip to see. Ain't really been doing much. Playing a lot of guitar. Watching a lot of videos. It's an exciting time to watch videos. The citizen journalist movement is really blowing up. It's way more interesting and way better than anything that's on the fucking news. It's gone from cop watching to First Amendment auditing, police accountability, and now it's spilling over into city council meetings and courtrooms, and it's turning into federal investigations, and sheriffs being arrested, and even mainstream media is starting to pick up on it because it's a popular subject, this police accountability thing. And now it's just a matter of time before, everything is out in the open, and the police and the fucking courts and the judges and the law, they're gonna have to fucking explain themselves about why the fuck they're doing this, why they keep doing this, why they fucking ignore the law. I mean, stop and fucking think about it for just a minute. If public defenders had the same resources as the fucking lawyers we hired to defend cops, nobody would go to jail. They wouldn't. Nobody would go to jail. Nobody. Fucking stupid. Compare the budget of your district attorney to the budget of the entire office of the public defenders in your area. Then compare those two budgets to the amount of your money, tax money. All of it's paid for by taxes, but I'm just pointing out tax money that's used to pay for lawyers to defend dirty cops. And dirty cops already have a dirty judicial system that protects them. So if they're fighting, they must have really fucked up. I remember the guy's name was Grand Rapids. I can't remember if he was on the PD or if he was the county sheriff, but the Fraternal Order of Police paid for millions of dollars worth of his lawyers. And in the end, he was convicted of criminal sexual misconduct, 6 counts with minors. All very young children. 5, 6-year-old children. And it's just, they want to protect their reputation. They don't even care about their own. Right? This blue line gang bullshit you talk about, protect the brotherhood, that's not it. They have no honor. Okay? Soldiers have honor. Soldiers are fighting for their brother next to them. They're protecting the organization, period. That's it. Because the minute they're cornered, they will throw everybody they can in the fucking bus. There ain't no soldiers doing that. You can see it. It's all over YouTube. The fucking cops fighting each other, going to war with each other. Fucking one of them gets pinched and they just start snitching on everybody. It's not a brotherhood. It's a gang of cutthroat thugs. They're just as evil to each other as they are to you. Well, the camera's showing it. The Tiffany Henyard thing going on in Illinois there, Chicago suburb. Super crooked mayor. You got fucking drunk judges drunken and driving with their grandchildren in the car. In Oklahoma, and fucking chiefs of police getting pulled over, being fucking 3 times over the legal limit, and getting treated with kids' gloves, and sitting in the front of the cop car making phone calls for half an hour before they even make them do a field sobriety test or blow in a tube. And the fucking cop buys the bullshit. Well, I started drinking after I crashed. Try that while they're tasing you and beating you and taking you to jail. I wasn't even drinking until after I crashed. Yeah, see how well that's gonna fly. As chief of police, of course they're gonna fucking believe him. Gonna give him the fucking professional courtesy. We get fucking DA up there in New York. What's her name? Dorley, something like that. Like, how dare you pull me over? If it was me or a black dude or a fucking Mexican dude or just about anybody else, and the cops tried to pull us over and we just drove home, we would fucking be felony stopped, gunpoint, on the ground, face down on the pavement, interlocked fingers. Anybody that's ever been felony stopped knows how it works. I could fucking tell you the fucking procedure. Roll down your window, open the car door from the outside, keep your hands where you can see them or we will shoot you. Get out of the car, face away from us, interlock your fingers above your head, walk backwards, blah blah blah. They'd have been written up for fleeing and eluding, failure to obey commands, obstruction of official duties, then the traffic tickets and any other fucking thing they could dream up to. You so much as fucking scraped one of the cops' hands with your left pinky fingernail as they're putting their handcuffs on you. You're getting an assault on an officer. She got her fucking traffic ticket and a bunch of bad press. And she's crying like a bitch now. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was having a bad day. Oh, yeah, Judge always lets me out of jail because I was having a bad day. Fucking entitled fucking cow. And the shit all makes it on the YouTube and millions of people see the shit. You got motherfuckers in Finland calling up the city attorney and explaining the goddamn law to them in Oklahoma. The cops are just the most dangerous part of the problem. They're the part that will kill you. Once the rest of the fuckheads get involved in it, it gets worse and worse and worse. The jail don't know fuck all about the Constitution, nor do they care. And what happens in there, they control. So, good luck fucking doing anything about it if some bad shit happens to you. And no one will care. The courts are fucked. The courts are so fucking corrupt and sick and stupid and twisted. And Jim Potter. Percolate this in your brain. Not only was she a field training officer training a probationer, a new cop, she was also for the department, taser training officer. It was her job to build and enforce policies with tasers. She was instrumental in the cases that defined taser policy and taser law in her state. I think it was in Minnesota, right? Pulls her gun and murders a kid. They fucking charged her with negligent homicide. She murdered that kid. There is no fucking way in hell she thought she was pulling her taser. She knew goddamn well she was pulling her gun, and she shot him. For no reason. Well, she had a reason, but it wasn't a lawful reason. Number one, he was driving away from her. She wasn't in front of the car. She wasn't in danger of being dragged. He was just trying to escape. So, he's operating a vehicle. The car is in park. It is moving forward. If she had used a taser on him, that would have been an unlawful use of force, and she could have been charged then. If it had been the taser, even if she hadn't pulled the fucking gun and killed him. Then the kid drives off because he's dead and his foot's pinned to the fucking floor, smashes into somebody else, and one of those people ends up dying a couple years later. That bitch should have been charged with both of those murders. Then they give her a fucking sentence. She does less than a fucking year in prison. And I guarantee you it was some cushy ass fucking protected custody, cops only women's prison with a tennis court and a fucking jacuzzi. wasn't no real prison. Guarantee you she had a nice fluffy pillow. She murdered the kid. The cases are just fucking endless. I can sit here and case after case after case after case. Like Quan McDonald. Motherfucking, that little violin playing kid that they jacked up full of ketamine and killed. Breonna Taylor. The fucking list, yeah. The list is endless. It happens in every town around here. The ones you know about are just the ones you know about. There's way more of them we don't know about. The guy in Saginaw, they shot 42 times for having a little tiny penknife in his hand. Couldn't have hurt any of them cops. They got tired of arguing with him and shot him. Motherfucker out there mag dumping his fucking Glock because the acorn hit his car. And there's a terrifying thought. Two cops dump, 22 rounds into a car and can't hit the person they think he's shooting at. 22 fucking rounds. Never even come close to hitting him. Thank God for him. I mean, the guy didn't do anything. So, yay for him, but that in and of itself is kind of a scary number. They shot a guy up here a few years ago. He was drunk, had penknives, same kind of stupid situation. Not really a threat, but they fired 72 rounds, or no, 42 rounds and hit him 7 times. From 15, 20 feet away. Blood's kicking my ass. How is that even fucking possible? How the fuck? I couldn't shoot that badly if I wanted to. But it's all come to light. The people go to the city councils. People are coming for people's jobs. I mean, you can take a complaint that somebody turns in, shuffle it off to your buddy Frank at IA, and have him look at it and go, yeah, you're good, whatever. Blah, 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 that's time not sustained, whatever. But when you get 50,000 phone calls, when people are calling every city office in town, clogging the fucking phone lines over your bad behavior, something's going to change. It's the power of the people. For real. A good example of a city that, or I don't call them a city, it's a small little town. That Travis Hines kid. He's just like a cat, lives in his car, kind of vlogs his life and his interactions with the police. He's a peculiar dude. Not overly peculiar, but he's kind of a peculiar dude. Got his own way of talking and thinking and seeing the world. Well, cops hassle him all the time. But he's sitting in his car someplace, I think it was Turtle Creek or Turtle Lake or something like that, Wisconsin. And this fucking chief of police just literally comes along and gives him the, you got to move along, boy, fucking speech, and get the hell out of our town, you're loitering and vagrancy or whatever. Travis just, alright, well, cool, I ain't trying to go to jail. Packs his shit up and boogies. He's just like parked in a park having lunch somewhere. So, he fucking boogies, man, and people just start calling. And then the fucking video blows up. And pretty soon, I don't know how many people, hundreds, thousands of people see this video, millions of people see this video, and all of a sudden chief of police is fucking getting recalled by the city council. And the city council has called in a law firm from the big city that specializes in constitutional law to audit all of their city ordinances to make sure they fit constitutional muster. That's rare. And that's not going to happen with these big departments. but a small town doing it even is fucking rare, and it's just fucking mind blowing that it happened. Because usually when the government gets caught fucking up, they double down. And the bigger the fuck up, the harder they'll double down. And the closer you get to proving that they're lying, the more you prove that they're lying, the harder they'll double down. Up to and including killing your ass. I think on Facebook said, they can kill us all. I don't know. One day more blunts will kick your ass. But for sure get you high. I forget what's in them. These 2 grams. 2.5 grams of usable marijuana. 25.81% THC, 0.07% CBD. This is Lurpy with a Z. Yeah, nice. I like them. The only thing I don't like about them is this Maker's Mark style. Fucking, this cap is kind of hard to get off. You gotta use this like a pull cord and pull it up and then zip it around, and it doesn't always work right, and it's hard to do. I've got a whole drawer full of empties too. I keep trying to find out, hey, you gotta take these fuckers back, but they end up going to the recycling. So yeah, both pigs and bears are dangerous. They'll both kill you. And you pork eaters need to do your civic duty. If you're fucking eating pork and you ain't buying fucking wild hog shot out of farm country, you're not a good American. All the pork you want's free. Go get them. Where's the great American entrepreneurs? Where are they at? Step up to the plate. The hogs are a huge problem. They're eating our food. It's in the billions now every year. In crop damages that we pay for out of our tax dollars. Y'all fucking lather on constantly about bacon. There you go. You can start yourself a bacon empire, man. Went on there and start killing hogs. It ain't that hard. I'm glad we don't have them here. We got some bears here. I ain't seen none of the local ladies hanging out with them though. Hey, at least one cowboy type lesbian woman in her 20s gets so mad she threatened to kill me over the whole bear thing though. I said the violent nature of our culture is one of the problems that I've spent most of my life trying to address with the people around me. Mostly to little or no effect. And I understand fully that there is a gender correlation in violence, but mothers are just as responsible for teaching that violence as fathers. all the studies say that boys raised by single mothers are 10 times more likely to be violent to females. And I'm not saying females are any better or worse at it, but if a boy is going to get the type of discipline it takes to be a man who is not aggressive and doesn't solve problems by hitting things, he needs a strong presence in his life that's going to teach him to not solve problems by hitting them. Or when it's appropriate to solve problems by hitting them. If pushing it doesn't work, sometimes you need to bang it with a hammer. If it's stuck, you might need to hit it. But if it's a human, you probably shouldn't hit it unless it's trying to hurt you. And that takes a strong example in somebody's life. And for a boy, it kind of takes a strong man in their life to teach them that. And there's exceptions to every rule, and I'm not going to put everybody in the same generalized lump, but that's generally true. There's some women that are capable of teaching that type of stuff, and they do teach that kind of stuff, and I'm not saying they're not. But that's kind of traditionally the male role, and if it's not done, you have a dangerous male. The same is true with the female. And I know a lot of women who've been attacked and abused by men. Probably most of the women I know have been attacked at least once. Every man I know has been attacked by a female at least once. But all of those are the corollary aspects of the discussion. If we're going to try to move the discussion in any meaningful direction, it's not the correlations that we're looking for. It's the causation. And the causations is an underlying philosophy of society that some problems should be fixed by hitting them. It's this warped idea that violence will bring peace. She'll stop screaming at me if I just slap her once. He'll stop cheating on me if I claw at him and bite him and kick him and attack him. Stop running through the house or I'm going to slap you on your ass and make you cry. It's just inherent culture. It's where it comes from. And that, coupled with associated dogmas that are around that, it's also what leads to sexual dysfunctions, pedophilia, the rapists, the blunt droppers, all those mental defects. Fucking Italian talking in my hands and throw blunts all over the place. I threw a joint having an argument with somebody on Zoom one day. It fucking went up in there somewhere. It took me hours to find it. I was sure the camper was going to burn down. And what it comes back to is everything you need to know about the world you learn by the time you hit kindergarten. You're born, from the time you're born, you build what colors are, what sounds are, what scents are, what sensations are, what hot is, what cold is, up, down, left, right, math, color, music, language, it's going to take to be a human, most of it you learn in the first 4 or 5 years. Your brain never again is elastic or as fast as it is in the first few years of your life. And if you, I like to use a computer analogy. Think of a child as a brand new computer that all it has in it is the code. And your job as a parent is to give it an operating system. If the operating system you give them is bullshit, it's never going to work. It's always going to be dysfunctional. So from birth, teaching children fucking nonsense literally retards their ability to use critical thinking, logic, and reason successfully. That's where you get these theists from that think because they can apply logic and apply reason that they're critical thinking, when they're not, because they're applying their logic and the logic they used to get to where they got to, but they're ignoring reality. It takes a kid raised on Santa Clauses, Easter bunnies, and magic sky wizards that watch to see if you touch your pee-pee to grow up and think that building a giant military machine and blowing shit up all over the world is the best way to achieve peace. If we spent the money we spent on, pick one, Iraq, Afghanistan, either one, half that money. We spent half that money on feeding the world, educating the world, just books and food. There would not be a soul on the planet Earth that would dare speak ill of the mighty United States of America. They would be the most giving, loving, helpful, save the world motherfuckers in all of history. We could unify the planet just by helping as much as we blow shit up. Or at the very least, stop victimizing. Using our military to drive our economy. The whole system is nonsensical, and if you don't raise a child to be nonsensical and they're logical in their thinking, then you're going to just fucking perpetuate a nonsensical situation in perpetua. That's why drugs are so good, because they strip away a lot of that programming, a lot of that nonsense, that bullshit operating system that your parents gave you when you were a baby. The way religions work is they start with you're flawed, you're broken, you're unworthy. You have the sins of the Father born in you. And you're going to do bad things, and you're going to do wrong things. And this is how you don't do it. You follow this set of rules. And what it does is it A, teaches you to suspend critical thinking and accept, I'll use their word, divinity as an authority. In other words, it trains you from the time you're a child to obey an authority you have no evidence exists. None. Now, I use the word evidence in a legal term, in the legal sense. Evidence. There's no facts that, but for those facts, prove the existence of any creator. None. So you're suspending critical thinking. And there's no reason to think that God didn't create the universe. There's also no reason to think it didn't come out of a rhinoceros's ass. Or that Eric the God-eating penguin ate all of the gods at a Bangles concert in the 90s. There's no reason not to believe any of it. But there's no evidence of any of it. So if you train the brain to accept things without evidence, just this book, this is the evidence. That's not how you collect evidence. that's not what evidence is. That's not how the scientific method works. That's not how the human mind works. Hot causes pain, don't touch. That's how the human mind works. And that's why religion is so useful to governments. It's useful to people who want power. And they're the same thing. Government and religion are just two different cults. The whole idea of government and the whole idea of religion is just two different cults. One cult is the people that think they have answers to questions no one can answer. And the other is a group of people that think they have solutions to problems they don't have solutions for. And in fact, they don't have any solutions. They just want your money. And that's true of both cults. And in this case, your money, in this case, in reality, represents your energy, who you are, what you do in the world with that money. Your blood, sweat, and tears, as they say. So, society, having for the first time in its history, well, I won't say the first time, but there's quite a huge gap, not just in time, but in the immensity of the impacts of the printing press and the internet. Because if you're a student of history, you know how much the printing press changed the world. It's where these self-organizing governments kind of really started to catch on. It was right about the same time as the printing press. The two were inherently, irrevocably, irretrievably intertwined. The media and the government and the church. So, the internet is giving the people a voice like never before, which in 90% of the cases is very unfortunate for us. Because there's some fucking bullshit. A lot of fucking bullshit. Although I like the guy Rockstar that does the voiceovers on the dogs and cats and stuff, that's funny shit. The guy, skibbity pap! But, mostly it's bullshit, but it's starting to get used for civic engagement on a way more serious and big, large scale fucking level than ever before. So it's an interesting time to be alive. It might be the end times, but it's still interesting, you know. Oh, if I sit over here, man, I'm in the camera, man. You guys are getting like half of me all night. Whatever. That was my blunt, and thanks for smoking with me. I'll be back to rant later.